Okay, we just start with a little bit of Simran, yeah? So I'll say it, you say it back to me, okay? Vaheguru, 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 Sare Guru, Vaheguru, 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 जिसके सिर ऊपर तू स्वामी सो दुख कैसा पावै बोल न जाने माया मदमाता मरना चीत न आवै मेरे राम राय तू संता का संत तेरे तेरे सेवक को भौ किछ नाही जम नहीं आवे नेरे जो तेरे रंग राते स्वामी तिनका जन्म मरण दुख नासा तेरी बख्श न मेटे कोई सतगुर का दिलासा नाम ध्यान सुख फल पायन आठ पहर आराध तेरी शरण तेरे परवास पंच तुष्ट लै साध ज्ञान ध्यान किछ कर्म न जाना सार ना जाना तेरी सब ते वड्डा सतगुर नानक जिन कल राखी मेरी सब ते वड्डा सतगुर नानक जिन कल राखी मेरी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Wow, so thank you so much. So many of you turned up. Thanks very much. Hopefully next month there'll be just as many of you here. Yeah, because not too much once a month. Alright, so this talk, yeah, it's called Why is Guru Nanak Dev Ji Different? The reason we've called it this is because in many ways, when we're growing up nowadays in Sikh families, yeah, and this is like me when I was 21, I was a Munna, no one explained some of this stuff to me. They just said to me, all of them are, I don't mean the gurus, when I say Guru Nanak Dev Ji, don't misunderstand, I mean all the gurus are one line. But how are they different from the other people around? How are they different from Prophet Muhammad, from Jesus? How are they different from Bhagat Kabir Ji, Sheikh Farid Ji? What's the difference between the Guru and these other people? Because what happens in our faith, yeah, is we end up saying they're all the same. Sare religion good, yeah, that's what they say. Sare religion equal, yeah. That doesn't make too much sense. If all religions are the same and they're all equal, why do we value ours then? Huh? Bani is saying Sabate Vadda Sadguru Nanak. Yeah? Now that's straight up, that's what it says. I'm not making nothing up. It says he is the greatest. So we got to know why he's the greatest, isn't it? What is there special about Guru Nanak Dev Ji that we should follow him rather than just go off and follow no one or follow somebody else? Yeah? So this is a talk based upon the Sikhs had a conversation, okay, with Guru Gobind Singh Ji and asked the same question. Just like we're going to ask this question at the beginning, the Sikhs asked, and this is based upon Itihas. Kavi Santokh Singh is talking about what happened in this conversation that the Sikhs had with Guru Gobind Singh Ji, where they talked about how is Guru Nanak Dev Ji different. We're going to use that for part of it. We're also going to use Guru Gobind Singh Ji's own writings, okay, where they explain why they came upon earth in Pachita Natak, yeah? So that what they said about why they came here, alright? If you can't read Gurwani, don't worry, the English translations are up there, okay? So, first we're going to look at Guru Nanak Dev Ji compared to Devi Devte. We're going to look at them compared to the avatars of God that have come before. Then the Abrahamic prophets, okay? And then the Sufis and the Sant Bhakti tradition. What's the difference about that? Now obviously, as I said to you before, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the same light went through all 10 Gurus, okay? So we're not going to worry about the difference between Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Guru Angad Dev Ji, because there's no difference. Then, what did they bring? What was their message? What was different about what they brought upon earth? And then we can have a discussion afterwards. Okay? There'll always be time for questions. I promise that, because a lot of times you come to Gurdwara, it's like one-way process, and one person is talking and you're listening, and you might be thinking, I didn't understand that, I didn't get this, but there's no chance to ask questions. Yeah? So if you've got anything which is burning about what I'm talking about there and then, you can ask it in the middle of the talk. I don't mind if you put your hand up and say, but I don't get this. But if it's something like different, okay, and you think you might not forget it, you might forget it within the talk, then if you can remember it and it's something different, then write it down, and at the end of it we'll discuss those topics, those questions afterwards, okay? Anything you might have brought with you. Alright. By the way, just before I start, everybody know that we've got this YouTube channel. Yeah? Everybody know that? Anybody didn't know? No. So we have a YouTube channel. There's about 1,300 videos on the YouTube channel, yeah? There's quite a lot of videos, yeah? We haven't stopped. If people keep telling me, I'll watch all your videos. No, Papa, I haven't watched all our videos. How could you have watched all our videos? So, very few people have watched all 1,300, yeah? However, they're made of different levels. Somebody might not be reading part, that's fine. There's a Q&A playlist. If you think I've gone beyond Q&As, I want to learn something structured, then we've got the Waheguru course. The Waheguru course is a course where you learn about the history of Sikhi from beginning to now. Then there's also a one-day course about the philosophy, 7 lectures. Then there's the learning Gurumukhi course. If you know a bit about Sikhi but you want to learn Gurumukhi, there's a whole course about how to learn Gurumukhi, the reading and writing of Punjabi alphabets. Yeah? And a lot of people learn Gurumukhi from that. So we're trying to make it as simple as we can for anybody of different levels. You could be Amritari, you're doing your part, good, then learn the meaning of that part. So Panjabaniya Katha is up there already, and Rera Sahib is going to go up soon as well. And right now, every Sunday at 6 p.m, they're streaming the Katha from Park Avenue on Sangat TV. So Sunday 6 p.m, you can watch Sangat TV, and we're going through Soila Sahib right now, Kirtan Soila. So we're going through that right now. That's all the days that they're going to be done. After that, it'll be Ardas. So we're going to do the whole day is what you would do in one day. And then we'll go on to other parts. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Everything's 13, in case you're wondering what is that, because you see it everywhere. Just say it in Punjabi. Sab ki chitera. Right? In Punjabi, right? So that's all it is. It's the name of the charity that is the overarching charity. So Basic Sikhi is a project by Everything's 13. Sikh Press Association is a project by Everything's 13. Mighty Khalsa, Kidi Sangat, these are projects of Everything's 13. It's just a charity that does all these projects. Okay? And that's who I work for. Okay. So, jump forward. Guru Nanak Dev Ji compared to Devi Devte. Okay? So, obviously, in Hinduism, right, before when Guru Nanak Ji came, there was mostly Hindus and Muslims. Yeah? So at that time, in Hinduism, they've got 3 main deities, yeah? You know, these are Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, yeah? One is the creator, one is the sustainer, one is the destroyer, right? And this is, so the Brahma the A of his name became Brahma. Then the U from Vishnu became U. And then from Mahesh you got the M. And you got A, U, M. Om. That sound, you don't want to say Om. That's made up of these three sounds, of these three names. So they're talking about that there's three main energies, one that creates, one sustains, and one destroys. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji came up and they said, Ik Oankar. The Ik is the creator, Ik is a sustainer, and Ik is a destroyer. Mare Rakhe Eko Aap. Manak ke kich nahi hath. They said only one. So the Ik Oankar, that meant the only. Okay, the Vaheguru, and then it says Satguru Prasad. To find him, you got to go through Satguru. So straight away, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Bani is saying that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, right, they're lower than the Guru. And the quote there is what I put here, Gur Jaisa Nahi Ko Dev. There's no Devi Devte as big as a Guru. Sabte Vad Samrat Gurudev, Sab Sukh Pai Tiski Se. The most Samrat means able to do certain things. Sabte Vad Samrat. He's the biggest and the most powerful is our Gurudev, our Guru. Right? So as far as Sikh is concerned, these three beings, they're not as powerful as Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. I'll give you a little story. There's once a famous Gursikh called Sutresha. Sutresha is in Harmandir Sahib, and he's doing Chor Sahib over Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And there's a guy that's come to meet Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. Right? His name is Seal Santok. I think he calls himself Santok. No, I forgot the word now for him in Punjabi. I teach my kids the English version, so they know it. But anyway, he calls himself like Seal Santok Maharaj. Sat Sarup, Shant Sarup Maharaj. He calls himself. Shant Sarup, totally calm, totally peaceful. He's sitting next to Guru. He sits down on Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji's own chair, sits next to them, right? And he's talking about how he's bought some full for them. The full is prasad from Vishnu Mandir, right? And he puts it, he gives it to Guru Sahib, expecting them to put it on a high place. Sutresha picks up this prasad, these flowers, puts them at Guruji's feet, and he gets offended. This sounds sort of, he goes, what do you mean you're putting it at his feet? It's from Vishnu Mandir, thinking that Vishnu is greater than Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And Sutresha says, Vishnu, no problem. Come here tomorrow morning, itthe aake seva karna. Vishnu comes here and he sweeps the floor. So the Sikh view was always that these three beings, they're nothing compared to the Guru. Nothing. They do his seva. Because Guruji is reflecting God. Gur Paramesar Eko Jan. Jyotis Bhava, so Parvan. Guru and God are the same. There's no difference for a Sikh. This is from Gurbani. Nowadays we started to say things like, oh, the Guru is just normal human beings. But there's nowhere in Gurbani you can find that quote. Nowhere. I've looked. There's nowhere. What you find is things like Gur Par Brahm Paramesar Aap. Guru himself is Par Brahm Paramesar. Aat Pahar Nanak Gur Jap. You find things like Gur Meri Puja, Gur Gobind, Gur Mera Par Brahm, Gur Gobind. Guru, my Guru is Par Brahm. Gur Samrat, Gur Nirankar, Gur Ucha Agam Apar. My Guru is Nirankar. So Vaheguru is above all three, and Guruji is a reflection of Vaheguru. And then the rest of Devi Devti, obviously they don't compare to Guru Nanak Dev Ji because Guru Jaisa Nahi Ko Dev. So moving on from them, so they're bigger than the Devi Devti. Okay. Now this is Guru Gobind Singh Ji in Apni Katha. They talk about their own story. Okay. And they're talking about why they came here before. They start saying Ki Mahadev Achut Kahayo Bisan Aap Hi Ko Teharayo. Bisan is Vishnu. Mahadev is a name for Shivji. So Maharaj is saying Shivji called himself Achut. Achut means without any kind of dog, Nirmal. And he goes, Vishnu considered himself as the apne aap ko sab se badda samajh raha hai. Brahma aap par Brahma khana. Prabhu ko Prabhu na kinhu jana. No one knew God as God. Prabhu ko Prabhu kinhu nahi jana. No one knew God as God. They started getting confused with Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. Okay? And the proof of that is how they behaved. Once, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh are having a conversation. to work out who's the greatest. Shivji said, I'm the greatest. Yeah? And then Brahma says, no, I'm greater than you. So Shivji gets annoyed. This is not me talking, this is the Vedas talking. Yeah? Shivji gets annoyed and chops off one of Brahma's 5 heads. So he was left with 4 heads. Right? Because of his anger. Does that sound like no. Right? So then Maharaj carries on, they go, these are God's words, by the way, these are not Guru's words. This is God talking to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Yeah? These words up here. And they say, Tab Sakhi Prabh Ashta Banaye, Sak Nimat Dekhe Teharaye. Maharaj said, God says, I made these 8 Sakhis to give evidence about who I was, but then, Taan kahe karo hamari puja, hum bin avar na thakur duja. They started saying, you should worship me. There's no one who's greater than me. So again, people that God sent started to say, worship me. Yeah? Then Guruji says, Ki param tat ko jinna pachana, tin kar Isar, tin kahu mana. They started believing other people as Ishwar, not God as Ishwar. Yeah? Then they go, Kete sur chand kahu mane, agan hotra, kai pavan pramane. They say, look, people started to worship the sun, the moon, the fire. Okay? Then again, kinhu prabhapahan pehchana, naat kite jal karat bidana. Sorry, it's not the Gurumukhi, the Romanized is not there. But it says people are worshipping God in stone. Some people started going to different places to worship water. Ketak karam karat darpana, taram raj ko taram pachana. They started worshipping Taram Raj. The guy who judges us, people started thinking he's in charge. Yeah? But he's also been given a job by God. Then Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj, they go, Jo Prabh Saak Nimat Tehraye, Te Hiyan Aaye Prabhu Kehvaye, Taki Baat Bisar Jati Pi, Apni Apni Pard Sop Pi. Everybody's talking about themselves. No one's talking about God. Yeah? Very few people come here and they start talking about Ik Oankar. They get stuck with themselves. Yeah? So, what we can hear from this is Guru Gobind Singh is giving, and what they do after this, they start talking about why they were sent down. They say, I got sent then upon earth. Right? That Sutto Hine Vaja, Pant Parchur Karve Kau Saja. Sut means son. God says to Guru Gobind Singh then, Main apna sut tohe nivaja. I've raised you up as my son. What's the job? Pant parchur karve ko saja. Go into this world and do parchar of this way. Pant means a way, a path. Spread this path of Naam, of Sansapaya. So God is telling Guru Gobind Singh, look, everybody before you failed. Yeah? And we're going to go through afterwards, through in this same part, they talk about Prophet Muhammad as well, and how he ended up joining people to himself and not to God. So if you want to look this up, you can read it in English. Just go to siridasam.org, SRIDASAM, okay? And just any of these quotes you put in, you can start reading from there. You can find out what Guru Gobind Singh said about why they came on earth. Okay, now we look at the avatars, right? So there's Ram avatar, there's people like Ram, Krishna, all these people that are famous in India, right? So how is our Guru now different from Ram and those people? They're bigger than Devi Devte, but how are they different from Ram? Okay. So there's 6 types of avatar that are manne hue in just Indian literature. Okay? These are the 6 types. I'm going to explain how Guruji is of the top type. So you've got this person who's an Ansh avatar. An Ansh avatar is just a king who's righteous and rules their kingdom properly, and the people start to revere that person as a king. They start to make him an avatar, but he's a good person. Okay, so there's been many kings like this in India that were very good. Like for example, if you look in the Vedas, in the battle of Mahabharata, right? Mahabharata you've heard about, right? At the end of the battle of Mahabharata, then the king who'd won the battle, what's his name? Datta something, I forgot his name now. Anyway, he wanted to leave. He goes, I'm fed up of all this bloodshed. I want to go and live in the mountains and just be yogi. And then Krishnji takes him to Bisam Pitaji, and he goes, listen, give him the katha of what it means to be a righteous ruler. So he rules his people properly. So there is some kind of gun in the first avatar who does look after people, Ansh avatar. Okay? The next is Avesh avatar. An Avesh avatar is basically something that appears just to please a Bhagat. So the example there is the statue that drank the milk from Namdev ji. It comes up in Bani, where Namdev ji is giving Dudh Piyo Govind Rai, comes up here. They're giving Dudh to the statue, and the statue drank the milk. But that was only to please the Bhagat. That was not to do some kind of miracle, just to please the Bhagat. You know, Khushkan Maste, why could it kirpa upon that Bhagat? Like for example, when the whole mandir turns around, yeah, to please Namdev ji again later on. Jo Nama Har Guru Uchre Bhagat Jana ko Dehora Phire. The whole mandir turned around to face Namdev ji, because he was kicked out because he was low caste. So he went on the back and he started crying to God. He goes, you know, I do your puja, I get kicked out of the mandir. It's yours, it's yours. People think of me as your Bhagat. It's your honor at stake here. And the whole mandir turns around and faces him. And that's the only mandir in India that faces the opposite direction. It faces west and not east. They actually physically turned around. So that again is an Avesh avatar. It's basically something that did something. Yeah? Now, Nit avatar. This is a Mahapurukh. So when we say Brahmgyani Aap Parameshwarya, this is what it means. That is a Nit avatar, somebody who's become so spiritual, they become the very form of God upon earth. Right? But that doesn't mean that they're Puran avatar, as they get bigger and bigger. The next one is Nimitak avatar. And this is somebody who just comes for one purpose. That's it. They complete their purpose and they go. The example you might have heard in Rarasai. Har Nakas Tusht Har Marya Prahlad Taraya. You heard that bit before? So there was a guy, yeah, he was a king of a nation. He did a lot of bhakti and he got given a var. Var means ask for something. So he says, I ask for this boon. I can't be cured at day. I can't be cured at night. I can't be cured by something thrown. I can't be cured by something held. I can't be cured inside or outside, on the air or in the ground. He couldn't ask to live forever, right? So he chose what he could to figure out how do people die, and he can't be killed by illness, right? So he asked for all these things so that he could live forever. So then, now he became a bad person, really bad, yeah? Harnakas. So to kill him, God came upon earth as somebody called Narsingh. And he said it can't be killed by a man or a woman or an animal. So God came as Narsingh, where they were neither man or animal. They came as a half lion, half man. Neither animal nor man. Then they picked him up, okay, on their knees. So he was not in the sky, he was not in the ground. He was on the veranda between his house and the outside, so he wasn't inside or outside. And it was evening, but it wasn't quite dark and it wasn't quite day. So all the things that he'd asked for were fulfilled, but he was still killed, and he was killed with the claws of that lion. So it wasn't a shastra. Yeah? So basically, all the sort of things he had were fulfilled, but only God could come down as Narsingh. No one else would have become that. So this, in our itihas, will say that this was a Nimitak avatar. Narsingh came here and then left. They didn't carry on living or all that. Just came and then they left. Okay. So that's Akal Purukh. Har Nakas just Har Marya Prahlad Raya. Har. Yeah? God came down as that person. Now the next one is Puran avatar. Now Puran avatar is like a perfect avatar, but it's not complete avatar. What this means is there's 16 divine attributes. Okay. And in this, okay, it says in the Hindu scriptures that there's 24 incarnations of Vishnu, what Guru Gobind Singh talks about in 24 avatar. Out of those 24 avatar, they had different levels of these 16 powers. 16 powers, yeah, each one had different levels. The highest one went to Krishna ji. That's what we always talk about impliedly. And the next one was Ram, he had 14. So 16 kala or 14 kala. So the 16 are up there: knowledge, attention, virtuous acts, persistence, moderation, faith, charity, skill, meditation, loving acts, control over passion, spiritualism, mercy, solemn promise, intelligence, and a clear mind. They had all these powers, but then you got the Puran Tam Avatar. And this is basically somebody who's come with all of God's powers. It's not 16, it's what we say in Bani, Sarva Kala Samrat. Have you heard that before? Dandot Bandhan Anakabar Sarva Kala Samrat Dolan Tera Ko Prabhu Nanak De Kar Hath. Sarva Kala Samrat means powerful in all powers. Sarva means every. Sarva Kala. So this is Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. He's come upon earth as the Puran Avatar. They have the same powers upon earth as God has in heaven. All the complete powers. Yeah? They know everything. Okay? So in our script, we believe that Guruji is Antarjami. They know everything. There is nothing you can hide from your Guru. Yeah? They can live forever if they want to. They can bring someone back to life if they want to. So you know the famous story of the Vaisakhi, 1699. You heard that story? Because there was a tent and there was 5 sheep, 5 goats, and these goats came up, and then Guruji Baba chopped the heads of these goats. Yeah, the goats were never there. Yeah? Right, let's just get that out of your head. They don't need to be goats. Guruji is not some kind of magician. Yeah? They don't need to sit there. What do goats do anyway if you've got like 5 of them sitting around? What kind of noises do you think they hung out these goats? Yeah. Meh, mo, yeah? And you think the people sitting outside are going to be like, yeah, there's nothing in that tent. Nothing at all. Yeah? And when they come out with a sword, bleeding, they're going to say, yeah, that goat was going meh. No, nothing happened to that goat. So there was no goats. Okay? This was made up by people that didn't believe that Guruji could bring 5 people back to life. Our Ittihad says that Guru Gobind Singh chopped the heads off the Panj Pyare in front of everyone. Then they made Amrit and they put that head back on the body, gave it Amrit, and their body came back to life. Yeah. Satgur Mira Mar Jivale. Guru, it says it Bani. He can kill and he can bring back to life. Okay, so Puran Avatar. Firstly, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji already had Gyan. They didn't have a human Guru. When they came upon earth, they already had the full Gyan. Now if you look at Kavi Santokh Singh Ji describing the birth of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he says that before Guru Nanak Dev Ji came upon Sabo Ki Talwandi in that place, yeah, you know what happened first? The whole land started to get greener. Yeah? This is the whole land around there. The crops became even more green. The fruit trees became even more fruitful. Everything, and the animals became more healthy. Everything became Harya Parya. Because God's going to come upon earth. Yeah? Then, on the night they were born, everything went completely quiet. Everything's completely shant. And then at Amrit Vela, Guru Nanak Dev Ji comes upon earth. Yeah? And then they say that when they came upon earth, they were born, they came out smiling from the mother's womb. And the Dai, the one who was looking after them, she was so enamored, she kept looking at this baby like, wow, so beautiful. They cleaned him up, they put him in the cot. And then Mata Triptaji, as she came into the room to see their baby. They say that all the Devi Devte had come to see Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They'd come. And they were massaging his body with chandan, right? With sandalwood. And they were massaging and they were paying homage to Matha taking to Guruji and saying, Sate Kirpa Karo, you come upon earth as a Kalpura, do Kirpa upon us. And Mataji couldn't cope with this view. She couldn't cope with all Devi Devte in her bedroom, bowing down to her son. So Guruji, then they cried, and as Mataji gave them milk, then they took away that memory from her, because she couldn't cope with it. It was too much for a mother to see her child as God direct. She couldn't really cope with it. Okay, so going on. Now, what happens is that the Sangat asked Guru Gobind Singh Ji, they said, Guruji, if you say they are Purantam Avatar, how do we know they are Purantam Avatar? Give me some more facts about them, why they're perfect. So they go through these 5, yeah? It says 5 greater qualities of the Guru compared to Devi Devte. The first one is Shakti. Guruji had complete power. Now this power is interesting. They say the Guruji is born like I said just now, that the old Devi Devta have come to meet Guruji, they matha taking to them, they bow into him, they had the complete Shakti of God, but also, I just had to put the bottom on there, I'll put there, is all the others, like, you know, the snake that was giving them charm from the sun. Then Punjab side, they stopped that rock, and in Mecca, the Kaaba went around them. When they went to Baghdad, what they call nowadays, yeah? When they went to Baghdad, there was a guy called Dastagir, P. Dastagir. He came out and he said, there's 7 heavens and 7 hells. Guruji said, no, not 7, mate. Hundreds of thousands. Patala, lakh agasa. He says, I don't believe you. There can't be hundreds of thousands. The Quran says 7. Mara says, okay, give me your son's hand. They held their son's hand and they disappeared. In front of everybody, Guru Nanak disappeared with the son. And they go for an intergalactic travel, yeah? Just like that, travel all over the world. Bhai Jagraj is writing this, yeah? They come back with his son, who's got now a bata in his hand, full of prasad. Different types of prasad he's bought from different places. They say, with him, we've been traveling all over. We went and see hundreds of thousands of different heavens. And the son's like, yeah, we did. Right? They didn't take P. Dastagir, they took his son. And they said, there you go. There's a proof, there's more than 7. Yeah? So sometimes even now, I don't know if Coventry probably got a problem, they got a problem everywhere, but these guys, they come preaching and they start talking about, like Jagmeet Singh had it in Shepherd's Bush, they go, there's 7 layers in the atmosphere, there's 7 heavens and all this kind of stuff. There's not, there's hundreds of thousands. Okay? And they said they're Japji Sahib. So they've got all this power. The second thing they had was a Vyakti. Not just Shakti, but Vyakti. They came as a human being. Different about them. Okay? So Guru Nanak Dev Ji's own being, their form, was greater than all the other Devi Devte. Why? Firstly, Ramchandra Ji and Krishna Ji never grew any facial hair. They weren't complete. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji came in a complete form, with the full dadi, full case. Yeah? And this was because other saints would then recognize them as being a Mahapurukh and a form of God as well. Because all the saints used to have beards as well. So they came in a complete form. Also, in this form, they didn't use the form for the wrong thing. For example, yeah, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they were so beautiful. Anybody who saw them just fell in love. But when they went to a place called Sangladip in South India, the king had sent a whole bunch of women to try to attract Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they could have used their form to attract all these women, but they didn't. They used this form to pacify those women. They call them sisters. Yeah? So they've got the form, but they don't use it the wrong way. But if you look in Krishna Ji, they've got the full powers, 16 powers of God, but they don't use them in the right way. They're not having loads of gopiyam. Yeah? They use that form to attract women. Yeah? And they have thousands of gopiyam. So again, Guruji doesn't abuse that power they've been given. Then pragya, knowing God and the name of God. So Guruji never had a guru. Guru Nanak never had a physical guru. Whereas Ramchandra Ji, Krishna Bhagwan, they all had gurus upon earth. And that's written up there. I don't want to go into too much detail, but they learned Shastra, Rishi Darbasha, taught Krishna Ji as a spiritual guru. They spent 8 days with him. So people taught them the Shastra, as in the books, and the Shastra, as in the weapons. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji never got taught by anybody. The Nihang tradition holds that Guru Nanak Dev Ji gave Baba Buddha Ji knowledge of all Shastra Vidya. Yeah? They blessed Guru Baba Buddha Ji with all the gyan of fighting. And then Baba Buddha Ji taught that to Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. Yeah? They were blessed with that gyan. So they learned, they got the weapon, they got the knowledge straight from God. Yeah? And the fourth one is karta, the show of one's skills. Yeah? So instead of, like, for example, it's easy to kill somebody. If somebody's a bad person, you can kill them. But to reform them is harder, isn't it? But Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they use their power, they have so much skill that you reform people that people have given up on. And the example there, okay, is, for example, Pumia Chor. You hear about him, but Guruji made him good. Yeah? Sajjan Thag, he became Sajjan Bhagat. Okay? And Kauda Rakshas became a good person as well. So they made bad people into good people. Yeah? Most of the patit, na pavan na tosat, Bhai Gurdas says. He goes, no one a big sinner as me, but no one as great a purifier as you. So the Guru can purify people that are wrong. So the example we can take from that is, even if you think, oh, I'm bahut mada, yeah, I've done so many bad things in my life, yeah, don't worry, because Guru can forgive all of us, and he can make any of us better. If they can take Sajjan Thak, who was killing people, throwing them down the well, stealing all their money, none of you are going to be that bad. Okay? He was a multiple murderer. Okay? But Maharaj made him into a bhagat as well. Right? They have that karta, the power to do that. And they also didn't discriminate between anybody. Krishna ji, Ram ji, they stuck within the caste system. Guru Nanak Dev ji did not. They went outside the caste system. They actually said, Nicha andar neech jaat, Nichi ru at neech, Nanak tirke sansar, Vadya so kyaris. They say, I stay with the lowest people. And you can see that in the Sakhi of Malik Pago and Bhai Laloji. They went to the Bhai Laloji's house and they had roti with him. Not Malik Pago, he was rich. So they went to anybody and they reformed everybody. So their Upadesh was for everyone. Okay? They showed greater skill in all the bhagats, in all the different avatars. And the fifth one is Ayu. In their life, what they achieved. So, according to the Vedas, Ramchandra ji lived for 10,000 years. Krishna ji lived for 1,000 years. But Guru Nanak Dev ji, being a saint and a king, they never, in their powers, in their life, they did more good in that 100 years or so that they lived, less than 100 years, than all these people, than what Ramchandra ji and Krishna Bhagavan did. They did travel more, they saved more people, they got more people in the right path than both of these people. But one more thing, in order to save someone, they didn't have to kill anybody else. You remember like Hanuman, you've heard of Hanuman, right? Hanuman's got the head, not Hanuman, sorry, wrong one. Ganeshji's got the head of an elephant. In order to bring Ganeshji back to life, they had to chop the head of an elephant and stick it on his head, right? So the elephant got sacrificed and therefore he came back to life. Yeah? But Guru Nanak Dev ji, in order to save someone, never had to take somebody else's life. Yeah? They saved many people just with their pure kirpa. So they didn't depend upon anybody else. They didn't have to do lena dena with karma. Give a little bit, take a little bit. They just did what they wanted, just like God does what they want. They did kirpa upon people without having to do any lena dena with anybody. Yeah? Okay. Right. 70 years so they live for. Or one more power. In their time, for example, Ramchandra ji and Krishna Bhagavan couldn't do this. But at one point in Govindwal Sahib, Guru Amar Das ji saw a mother's pain when her child passed away. Right? They got so hurt by that pain. They didn't want to see it. So they said to death, stay away from Govindwal Sahib. And no one died at Govindwal Sahib while Guru Amar Das ji was the Guru. Yeah? In our history, it notes that death couldn't come to Govindwal Sahib. They just kept it away. Yeah? It's a little known fact, but it's in our itihas, in all the books, that no one died in Govindwal Sahib when Guru Amar Das ji was there. They just kept death away. Yeah? It's because they are obviously God. They can control all these things. Yeah? Okay. Now, the Sangat heard all of this. Yeah? It's history. Then they go, but still, give us some more proof. You might be sitting there thinking, okay, this guy's giving me, I never heard any of this stuff, I'm not sure. He said, give me some more proof. So Guru Sahib said, yes, there are 3 more types of proof. Number 1, Vedic authenticity. Rishi Vedvyas writes in the Bhavisht Puran, in the 12 sloks, right, he says that in the dark age, Guru Nanak Dev ji will be the savior of the world. So it's predicted in the Vedas that Guru Nanak Dev ji will come and save the world. Then, Lokik means people authenticity. In the time of the Gurus, when you see people writing about Guru Gobind Singh Ji or Guru Nanak Dev Ji, if you look at those books, you will see that they say Guruji is complete God. Like, I'll give you a simple couple of quotes here. There's a poet in Guru Granth Sahib Ji called Mathura. He says, Pan Mathura, Kach Ped Nahi, Guru Arjan, Parta Kahar. Guru Arjan Dev Ji is God. Yeah? Then, about Arjan Dev Ji, again, about Guru Amar Das Ji. It says, आप नारायण कलातार जग में परवरियो. Ape, Narayan, God, took on their power and came into this world. Parvariyo means to enter. Aap Narayan, Kalatar, Jag Meh, Parvariyo. Nirankar, Akar, Jot, Jag Mandal Karyo. The Nirankar Vaheguru has taken on a physical form and come upon earth. So for us, I want to repeat it, for us our Guru is not just a holy person. He's not just a prophet. Literally is God upon earth. Okay? Everything they do is what God is doing. Everything they say is what God is telling us to do. They're not just some random person who got enlightened by themselves. They didn't just make this up. They are the savior of Kaljug. Yeah? So in every age there's been one avatar. And in Kaljug, for us the avatar is Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Yeah? You know the Hindus are waiting for this Nekalank avatar? What Nekalank means, Kalank means a mark, dog like that. Kalank means a dog. Nekalank means without any dog, i.e. Nirmal, without any man. Nirmal, Nekalank, pure. What do we say about Guru Nanak Dev Ji? We say Marya Sikha Jagatar vich Nanak Nirmal Panth Chalaya. Guru Nanak Dev Ji started a pure way. They are the pure form of God upon earth. Okay, in a Svaya authenticity, the most important authenticity for a Sikh, even though the people are calling him God, even though the Vedas are calling him God, Guruji himself admits to this. Okay, now some people say this, I've heard this many times from many people. They say Guruji never called himself God. This is true, I agree. But all the Gurus called the previous Guru God. Do you get it? They never say I'm God, but they say, but my Guru was God. Guru Arjan Dev Ji says Guru Nanak Dev Ji is God. Yeah? Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is saying Guru Nanak Dev Ji is God again and again and again. Like the Shabad I said to you earlier, right? Where they say ki Sabate Vada Sat Guru Nanak Jir Kal Rakhi Meri. There's one where they go even further. They say Gur Meri Puja, Gur Gobind, Gur Mera Par, Brahm Gur Bhagwant, Gur Mera Deo, Alak Apayo, Sarab Puj, Charan Gur Seyo, Gur bin avar nahi main thaun, Andin Japo, Guru Gur Nao. Then they say Gur Mera Gyan, Gur De Dhyan, Gur Gopal Purakh Bhagwan. Gur ki saran raho kar jo, Guru bina main nahi ho. Yeah? Then they go even further. In the last pankti, they say Gur seva vadbhagi paya, Gur ki seva dukhna, Gur pura paya vadbhagi, Gur ki seva dukhna lagi, Gur ka shabad na mite koi, Gur Nanak, Nanak har soy. Guru is Nanak, Nanak is God. Just say it straight. There's no other way you can translate that shabad. It just says Guru Nanak, Nanak har soy. Oh yeah. So, Svaya authenticity, Guru Granth Sahib Ji says straight, all the other Gurus state that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is God. Okay. Now, moving on to other religions, yeah? How are they different from the Abrahamic religions? Now, I want to start with Jesus, yeah? The reason I start with Jesus, and there's not much written about Muhammad and Judaism, is this. Only Christianity claims their prophet to be God. Islam does not claim Prophet Muhammad to be God. So there's no need to argue with them about it. They say he's a prophet, we say ours is God. It's a big difference straight away. But with Christianity they say he was God. But here's how we understand it, right? Jesus, okay, he lost faith when he was on the cross. He says, oh Father, why have you forsaken me? Yeah? He lost faith. Guruji never loses their faith. Then, Guruji doesn't need to give blood for forgiving sins. I made a video about this recently, about the Sikh view of Christ's crucifixion. You know, Christ, he's supposed to have crucified himself, right? And Jesus, the Christians, if they come knocking on your door, they'll prove this to you. They'll say this. I'm not saying nothing they haven't said before. They'll say, Jesus sacrificed himself in order to save your soul, to wipe away your sins, right? So the question we have is, why did he have to die to forgive my sins? How come he could just forgive my sins without dying? What did he not have in his power to just forgive my sins anyway? So for our Guru, although Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is Shaheed, Guru Tegh Bahadur Maharaj is Shaheed, Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj dies from a wound that is inflicted upon their body, and the Chote Sahib, but still, never does a Guru have to give his own blood to forgive anybody. They don't need to. They can forgive him like that. They just bless you and you're blessed. Right? So there's a big difference between Jesus and Prophet and Guru Nanak Ji. Then Jesus is only around for 3 years. He's a very short prachar career. Yeah? He starts off and he's finished. 3 years later, that's it. Yeah, Basics has been around for longer than Jesus was preaching. Yeah? We've been around for 4 years now. Now, what it happens is that Guruji is around for 200 years. Now, why is that important? From Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj to the point where Guru Gobind Singh Ji goes and leaves their Sareer in 1708, in that 200-year period, okay, Sikhi became stronger and stronger and stronger. And no one could then change Bani. Jesus Bichara, he became Shaheed, but no one knew exactly what he said. Yeah? His disciples told their disciples, the grandchildren of the first 12 disciples wrote down what Jesus has said. Yeah? So there's lots of things in there that we can't exactly trust that this is exactly what he said. Many Christians now say, I don't know what he exactly said himself. I think he was good, but I don't know what he said. St. Paul wrote most of the Bible, and he never met Jesus. He said he met Jesus spiritually, but he never actually physically met him. Okay? So we've got the benefit of the Guruji writing their own Bani, and for that to be put into Guru Granth Sahib, so we know exactly what they said. Okay? So, for us, Jesus, although he may be Mahapurukh, is not Purantam Avatar, nor is he the Avatar of Kaljug. The reason being, he didn't complete his job. Yeah? He didn't complete it. Guruji left us a Sikhi after 200 years that was complete, and it had all the answers. But Jesus did not. Okay? When it comes to Prophet Muhammad, as I said to you earlier, Guru Gobind Singh Ji says that Prophet Muhammad came upon earth and he started following his own thing. Mahadin, yeah? They call it. Mahadin came upon earth, he became given the Raj of Arabia, but then he started to get people to follow him. And even now, every Muslim still says, peace be upon him, about Prophet Muhammad, right? Well, no Sikh ever says, peace be upon my Guru. Simple difference, yeah? You can put this in here. You know that they say PPUH, yeah, whenever they say it. So you know that, right? We never say, peace be upon our Guru. Why is that? Why don't we ever say, peace be upon our Guru? Come on, it's your guys' turn.
The Guru told him to leave it behind, not that Guru.
No. Yes, but when the Guru is part of Bible, there's no difference. There's something else. The Guru don't need our blessings. Guruji don't need us to bless him and say peace be upon him. He's already in peace. He's the giver of peace. He is Sukhdata. वो सुख लेने वास्ते नहीं आए, वो देने वास्ते आए हैं. दे दा दे, लैंदे थक पाए. He keeps giving. So he doesn't need us to say anything to him. Yeah? He's Sutantan. He's one with God. He doesn't need us to bless him. There's a big difference. The Muslims will never accept that Prophet Muhammad is God upon earth. So there's no need to even compare the two. There's no need to just look at the fact that they just have a completely different angle. One is simply speaking the words of God and he admits himself, I make mistakes. One is actually God upon earth. Big difference. Okay? When it comes to Judaism, basically, Judaism does not claim that their prophets were perfect at all as well. And if you ever want to just doubt, like want to find out more about Abraham, you know they call them the Abrahamic religions. All you got to do is download the Bible in English and read Abraham's story. Yeah? You will not be impressed. I'm just telling you the truth. You won't be impressed. You'll be looking at him and looking at your Guru and wondering, what? This is what they follow. That's what my reaction was. I started reading his story and I was like, seriously? This is the person that all of you follow and you believe that was a prophet of God? The guy was married to his half-sister. Okay? Every time he thought him and his sister were going to get killed, he said to the king, have my sister. He said to his wife, don't tell him that we're married. Have. And he just gave his sister away. She got married twice to the other person. Then he was told, you're doing the wrong thing, you're letting your wife commit adultery, and he then said, sorry, I was scared of getting killed, and he took her, then he went somewhere else. Then he slept with his servant, so he could have children with her. The children that he had with his servant girl, that he wasn't married to, that's where Prophet Muhammad comes from. The lineage from Abraham doesn't come from Abraham's own child with his wife. It comes from his son with the servant. Yeah, his unmarried. You know, there was a bad word for it. I'm not going to use it, but that's where they come from. That's their lineage, and that's not something that they deny. That's just what they say. Yeah. So for us, okay, the Guru is far beyond these prophets. Yeah. They don't complete the job. They don't live a perfect, blemish-free life. For us, the Guru can't make a mistake. Gurbani says straight. Yeah? Mara says ki pullan andar sabko apul Guru karta. Everybody can make a mistake, but the Guru and God don't make mistakes. Pullan andar sabko apul Guru karta. Kartar and Guru don't make mistakes. Okay, that's just from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And that's actually Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying that. Not somebody else, Guru Nanak Dev themselves are saying that. Okay? Alright. So now, you might be wondering about the different saints in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Okay? We've got Mahapurukhs in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, haven't we? Like Kabir Ji, Farid Ji, Namdev Ji, Tilochan Ji. So what's the difference between our Guru and those people? Okay, here's what it's just from me. Firstly, Guruji travels all over the world, much like an emissary from God. You know, if you've been sent upon earth as God's representative upon earth, you're going to go and see everybody and see what they're up to, innit? Like if you're the king of this earth, like we say, Satche Padshah, the king of this earth. If you're the king, you're going to go and meet all your people, see what's going on. They did that. They traveled everywhere. Sheikh Faridji, Namdev, they don't do this. They stay where they are because they haven't got a big mission. They're Mahapurukhs, they're Satkarjo, we bow down to them, but they don't travel the earth like a king looking to meet people. Yeah? Secondly, Guruji starts writing shabads in Rag. None of the other people do this. They don't write shabads in Rag. Guruji starts writing shabads in Rag. Okay? Then they write a lot of long Gurbani, like Sukri Sahib, yeah? 1 hour. I know some of you lot will be sitting there doing parts on your phones wondering when is this ever going to finish. Yeah? It's quite a long part. It's an hour long, yeah? If you read it at a good pace. Okay? Then there's Akal Usta Sahib, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. There's so much part that they write which takes a long time. Oh, Dakni Omankar. And then obviously the normal nickname is Japji Sahib, Jap Sahib. The other Bhagas, they don't do this. None of the other Bhagas start writing long parts and give it to their Sikhs as their nickname. One more thing to remember, we don't ever get given a rehat. So he gives his Sikhs a rehat of their own Gurbani. So I jumped at the point now. In our nickname, we never get given Sheikh Faridji's Bani to read. We never get given Kabirji's Bani to read. We only get given Guru's Bani. Just understand that. Yes, they respected it. Yes, they put it on their own bed. But in terms of nickname, they only give us their own Bani to read. Amrit is only made with a Guru's Bani. Yeah? Then Guruji says clearly they are speaking revelation. Very clearly. I'll give you a little pankti. Guru Ram Das Ji speaking to his Sikhs. He's saying, O Sikho, Satgur ki Bani, Sat Sat Kar Jano Gur Sikho, Har Karta Aap Moh Kadaya. They're saying, accept the Guru's Bani as the truth upon the truth. God Himself is making me say these words. Aap Moh Kadaya. मेरे मुंह तो आपका डाले नहीं ये लफ्ज़. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj is saying, जैसी मैं आवे कसम की बाणी, तैसरा करी ज्ञान में लालो. As the Bani of God comes to me, so I make it known to everybody. So there's no doubt from the Guru's own words that they are speaking God's words. Okay. Then Guruji, okay, starts to found towns and communities. The other Bhagats never do this. They set up whole, like Anandapur Sahib, Harmandir Sahib, Kartarpur, Govindwal Sahib, Khadur Sahib. These are all towns the Gurus created and they built up and they became centers for Sikhi. Kabirji never did that. Yeah, they were from Banaras, they lived in Banaras. They never made Banaras into a Kabir Panthi or community. Okay. Then they did miracles. Obviously other Bhagas did them as well. But they did many, many more miracles. And all 10 of them did miracles. Okay? Guru Tegh Bahadur themselves to the very end, they're doing miracles. Then they say that God sent them. You might not know this, yeah? If you go to Ang 150 of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, in Maj Ki War, the last body, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says clearly what happened to them when they got given a job by God. They go, "Ho tadi bekar kare laya." They go, "I was unemployed tadi." You know tadi in the Gurdwara, they come, they sing Shabbos and they're standing up, they sing those tadi wara, yeah? They go, "I was unemployed tadi, I got given a job by God." What was that job? In that Shabad they said, "Tadi kare pasao, Shabad bajaya." The tadi was sent out to sing the Shabad. So they're saying they got told by God. Guru Gobind Singh Ji says clearly that God sent them upon earth. They even say, "I didn't want to come." Guru Gobind says, "I didn't want to come. I was staying in God's charan and I had no desire to leave His charan and come into this earth." But then they were sent upon earth and given a mission. Go into this world and sort out the bad people, spread dharam, and that'll be your job. They go, "For Satvajanji, that's what you're going to do, that's what I'll do." Yeah. And the Guru's appointed successors, Namdev Ji, Tilochan Ji, Sheikh Farid Ji, they did this, but they didn't do it in the same way as a Guru. They didn't say, "This is Mahalla Duja, Mahalla Tija, this is not my own Ang." But Guru Nanak Ji did that. Okay, so now what did they bring for us? What was the whole point? Like, what did they come with? You know, they've come as a phone for God. What's their message? These two things. Bhai Gurdas Ji says that when Guru Nanak Ji went to heaven, to Sachkhand, when they went in the river, at that point, they bring these two things back for all of us. These two things. No Nidana and Garibi. Garibi, what does it mean? It's not poverty. Because we're not grieving. Look at the Panth. Grieving? No. We got loads of money. So what's Garibi? Humility. Humbleness, Hanji, humility. So you need humility, right? Guru Sahib is saying, Pehla, they're saying Nanak, then they say Jan Nanak, then they go Das Nanak, they go Das and Das, then they go Das, then they go make me the servants of the servants of the servants. They get more and more humble. They keep on reducing themselves down. Because in Gurbani it says, Apas ko jo pala kahave, tise palai nikat na ave. Those that call themselves good, goodness would never come near them. Then they say, Apas ko jo jane nicha, so ganiye sabte ucha. Those who call themselves low, know them as the highest. So they bring humility. But they also bring no-nid naam. No-nid means basically priceless. Priceless naam. They bring the priceless name of God. What is naam? The connection to God. The ability for a human being upon earth to experience God. This is what happened to me when I was 21. I was your average Punjabi. Now don't feel insulted when I say this, yeah? Average Punjabi. I was that kind of weed smoking, drinking, clubbing, chat-the-lad Punjabi. Yeah? That's the average Punjabi, right? Whether you want to deny it or not, but you know in your community, loads of boys are walking around and they're smoking cliff and they're getting drunk and they're doing things worse. We all know it, yeah? That was me, that was my life when I was 21. And what happened is, I came into a room. I was at university, I needed a lift back to my university. And this Singh gave me a lift. And he goes, "Mere kar rehna, there's roti." And then as a poor student, you're thinking, "Oh, safe, I can have roti tonight, roti tomorrow morning. That's alright, I can deal with that. I've got to go back to my empty fridge." So I said, alright. So I stay at his house, he's in a taxi, I'll drop you off in the morning. And then at night time, he sits down with his mates and they're doing Simran on the guitar. And I go, alright, what you got to do? And they're like, "We're just going to say one word, repeat it again and again." I'm like, "Oh, what word is that?" I didn't know anything about Sikhi. He goes, "We're going to say Waheguru." I was like, alright. And I don't know what it meant. No one said this word to me before. I never knew what was this. So I was like, okay, I'll just sit down and I'll start saying Waheguru. They started singing on the guitar and they're singing Waheguru. I'm like, this is not what normally goes on in my Gurdwara. It's Sunday, we just go in, Matha take, have prashad, have langar and go home. But they're sitting there singing, so I'll join in. As I started to join in and sing a bit of Waheguru, suddenly I had an experience. I was like, what is this? What's happening to me? I got scared. And then I told them, I was like, something happened to me. They were like, yeah, that's normal, mate. I'm like, normal to whom? Not to me, not to my family. No one has experience in the Gurdwara. They just get bored. They're like, no, this is what you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have this experience of God. It's called Naam. And I was like, oh. And they go, remember, Satnam. Truth is found through the experience of truth. Truth is found through Naam. That's it. You don't find God by talking about Him. You don't find God by just hearing about Him. You find God by experiencing God. Naam. To find Sat, you got to have Naam. Satnam. Yeah. Simple to understand that little thing, isn't it? That is basically what they're saying on this Satnam. You've got to have experience to find the Sat. And I was like, wow. That's deep. I didn't know anything about Singh before. So I started reading more, went to a camp, went to the camp every day, simmer in the morning, 1 hour. I was like, oh, this is great. It's like free drugs. You know, all I was looking for in weed and alcohol is available here for free. And then on top of that, you just, on top of the world, you're thinking, you know what, that old life, that was pointless, that was. This is where life really begins. So a week later, after the camp, there was Amrit Sanjad. I just turned up. And you know, the Panchpara took pity upon me. No dadi, no case. They were like, I love you. And it worked. I've been in Sikhi since then. So the thing is, Guruji's come with this, but they come with Gribi. Eh? Why do you need Gribi to have Naam? Well, you need a place to put that Naam. And if you call yourself something, it won't stay inside you. If you call yourself nothing, it will stay there. Yeah? There's only one thing God hates. Never said without fear, without hate. There's only one thing that God don't like. Ego. Yeah? Bigging yourself up, no good. Big up God, that's fine. Big up yourself, no good. Yeah? So, Nirmal Pant. So basically, what is a Pant? A Pant is a way. A Pant is a way, it's a path. Same with Marg. Marg means a path as well, like a road. So this is a path, a Satcha Marg, a true way of Miri Piri. Living in spirituality, living in this world. It's of seva and simran, helping people but also meditating. Some people help, they do a lot of seva, but they don't do any simran. Some people do a lot of simran, they don't do any seva. This is that path of balance. Helping people but doing simran as well. And it links to everybody. It is the single unifying force, around all these religions that go and hate each other and they fight each other. Sikh is right in the middle. We can talk to a Buddhist. Yeah, Nirvana, Sahajavastha, no problem, we get there. Yeah? Don't have lust, anger, pride, detachment. We get the Buddhists, we get the Christians, they love Jesus, they bow at His feet, they want to worship Him, they want to wash His feet with their hair, Mary Magdalene. We do that. We say Guru ke charan ke sang chare. Yeah? We say actually, Satgur apna satsada samare, Guru ke charan ke sang chare. Wipe your Guru's feet with your hair. That's exactly what Mary Magdalene is doing to Jesus. We get that. We can relate to the Muslims. They bow down to one God. They're clear about that. Yeah? They want to accept God's hukum, the raza of Allah. They want to follow that raza. We do the same thing to our Guru's hukum. We get that. We get the Hindus. When they're worshipping the Devi Devte and they want to have that, even the bhajans, they do bhajans. We get that. We do bhajans as well. Yeah? Kirtan is the same thing. So we get everybody, but no one really gets us. Yeah? We're that weird lot that have Shastra as well. Yeah? We have this red, we have this Granth which no one's seen before. It's unique, it's different. So it's unique to everybody, but also it's got one thing that is the greatest uniqueness. Coming back to the topic we started off with, Guru's Kirpa. Sikhi comes with Guru's Kirpa. That Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who is God upon earth, if you follow him, he can bless you, and that blessing is the greatest blessing you can get. Because Sabate Vadda Satguru Nanak Jinikala Rakhi Meri. He is the greatest. So you follow him, you're going to get the greatest blessings as well. And this is why a Sikh is a Sikh. Because they believe the Guru is the greatest. We don't go around boasting to other people. We don't put other people down. But when we're in our Gurdwara, when we're in our buildings and talking to our Sangat, we speak the truth without being fearful of what other people might think. Because it's written in Bani, we believe our Guru is the greatest there's ever been and ever will be. Yeah? And that is why we follow Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. That is why I follow him as well. Okay. So here's a question, right? A couple of questions, because people get a bit awkward asking questions. Yeah? If you got any questions, you can message or text them to the details behind you. What are the oh, there. There's a number there. You can text that number, any questions you got. And then I'm sure that number's going to come to the front. If you got any questions, you can ask them.
What are Sikh's views on Jehovah's Witnesses?
Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, Sikh's view. I only know a little bit about Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't know that much about Jehovah's Witnesses. Don't worry, just switch it on and it'll be fine because the audio will come from the mic. Yeah, just go. It's easier. Or just go from the side, that way. Or take on it. Okay, so the question is asked, yeah? What is a Sikh view? Yeah. Okay, so the question got asked here, what is a Sikh view of Jehovah's Witnesses? I always found them a little bit confusing, to be honest, Jehovah's Witnesses, because they say only a certain amount of people can get into heaven. They've got some limit, like 100,000 or 150,000. But then for me, like, that doesn't make any sense, because if you were a Jehovah's Witness, you wouldn't want to make any more Jehovah's Witnesses because only a few people can get in. So there's no incentive to grow it, because you don't want to have any more people, because you're like, well, only a few people are going to get in and I want to be in that few, so I don't want to grow this number. So I didn't get that part. And secondly, like, surely you can't think that heaven has a limit. Why would heaven have a limit? If God's got no limit, if God is unlimited, why would heaven have a limit? So I never really understood them, to be honest. I'll tell you the only funny story I can tell you about Jehovah's Witnesses. They came to my door once. I was really busy. Otherwise I would have probably done a bit of advance in a minute. You know what I mean? I just go in and have a go. So they came to my door and she's like, she's an Indian Jehovah's Witness, yeah? Because they convert these people. And she comes up, she goes, I said, I'm really busy. Sorry, I've got to go. She's, I love talking to you, but I can't, I have to go. She goes, okay. She goes, but you know, we're trying to tell you the message of Christ. And I was like, look, I'm Sikh. I'm quite happy with my religion. We're all Sikh here. We don't need any more religions. We're fine. She goes, are you waiting for Satjug? She goes, are you waiting for Satjug? I was like, and you get Satjug. So she studied a little bit. She goes, because Satjug is the age of enlightenment. We're in Kaljug, the age of darkness, and the age of enlightenment. So there's 4 jugs, yeah? Satjug was the greatest, and it's backwards. Now we're in the lowest one, with all darkness, and then we're going to have to go back to Satjug. I'm like, no, we're not waiting for Satjug. She goes, Every Sikh I met told me they're waiting for Satjug, and I studied it in your books. I said, no, we're not waiting for Satjug, we're going to make Satjug. She was like, oh. I said, yeah. We're going to go out there, spread the truth, and bring Satjug upon earth. She was like, alright then, thank you very much. And she left. Yeah. But one thing about them, you know what, they come to you with this magazine in it. What is it called? The Watchtower. They bring it up, and they go, they don't tell you nothing about religion. They hold this book up and they go, wouldn't it be nice to live in a world like this? They go, look, the animals are playing, the people are happy, everybody's is sunny, it's bright, it's lovely. Right? They go, wouldn't it be nice to live in a world like this? They haven't asked you nothing about religion, nothing. All they said is, wouldn't it? Who's going to say, no, it wouldn't be nice? Who's going to say, no, it'd be terrible, I'd hate it? You know, it's like you saying, oh, I'd like to kill baby seals in my spare time. You're not going to say that, are you? You're going to say, yeah, of course I would like. Then they go, well, you can't get there unless you become one of us. So it's just like the fish. You know, the fish gets there's a little bit of food on that spring and you go, once you've bitten it, they catch you and they go, well, you can't go there unless you become one of us. So I think that's a bit devious, that, because like obviously it's a yes answer and no one's going to say no. So they ask you these leading questions to get you to say yes, and they go and they say, well, you can't get there unless you become one of us. And it doesn't make any sense because you have to compete with them now for that 100,000 people. So what do I think about them? I think they're just deluded. Yeah. The concept's nice, you could be a good person or that, but they're spreading God's name, but they're a bit deluded about the actual what's going to happen there. They don't believe in reincarnation either. That's a very confusing thing about the Abrahamic religions. They don't believe in reincarnation. I don't know how they work it out, like how does it work without reincarnation? I personally never understood. Like now, when I look back, before reincarnation made no sense to me. Now when I look, I think the one life theory makes no sense to me. Like how can you live in just one life? It doesn't make any sense. You know? How many times do you forgive them? How many times do you forgive children? Like all the time. I've got my kids, they always make a mistake, we keep on forgiving them. How many times have we been forgiven by our parents, by society, by our family, our loved ones? But God gives you one chance as a human being. You mess that up, that's it. Nark jana. forever. No coming out. Eternal hell. For me, it doesn't make any sense. It makes more sense that you go to hell for a little while, okay, and you come back and you get to try again. So I was going to talk about this just for the sake of completeness, isn't it, buddy? Yeah? Are we Hindus then? The question there is, because I talked to you about Ramji and then Krishna Bhagavan, and I talked to you about, so you might be in your head thinking, okay, so the Guru is just one step up from Hindus. So we're just like Hindus, but we just got the best one. You might think that. But the question here is not to sit there worried about whether you're a Hindu or not, because the word Hindu makes no sense. Sikhs are always saying, we're not Hindus, we're not Hindus. But what is a Hindu? Do you get it? It's like you're being put, there's a label being put upon you, but the label itself does not exist. There is no such word as Hinduism in the Hindu scriptures. You can read the Vedas, the Shastras, and all those, you will never find the word Hindu anywhere. The word Hindu does not exist. You can read Guru Granth Sahib Ji and you find the word Sikh straight away. Yeah? You find it in an answer. Wo Sikh Sadguru ke pyare hoga, wo sachi bani. But where does this word Hindu come from? Who gave it to them? Look, I'll give you a clue, yeah? Hindu comes from the word Hindustan. Okay? What does Hindustan sound like? Pakistan, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, all the stans. What's the pattern? Do they sound like Indian countries? Are they Hindu nations? Where does it come from, this word? It's actually an Arabic word. Yeah? It just means a country of those people. So this word was given by the Mughals to the people that lived south of the Indus River, Hindustan. It just means India. It doesn't mean a religion, it just means India. That's it. Hindustan, India, same thing. So by saying you're a Hindu, you're just saying I'm an Indian. Because it's not a religion, it's just a country. It's a geographical location. You come from that geographical location, you're a Hindustani. You're not a Hindu. Yeah? That's where it came from. So for us, there is dharam and adharam. There is righteousness and the right action, and there's the opposite of that, bad people. So people that are doing good stuff, they're on dharmi side. The people that are doing bad stuff, they're adharmi, opposite. We destroy the people that are doing bad stuff and work with the people that are doing good stuff. So for us, whether somebody is a good Hindu or a good Muslim, it doesn't matter. They're just good people. Somebody who's a bad Hindu or a bad Muslim, it doesn't matter. They're just bad people. The religion is irrelevant. We are what we are. Okay? And they, if they're good, they're on our side. If they're bad, they're on the other side. That's it. So we're here to help all the good people and fight against all the bad people. So the religion doesn't matter. So we're not Hindu, we're just Sikh. That's it. And then the question here is, how do we present our Guru nowadays? Most of you come from Punjabi families. Yeah? How is your Guru presented to you growing up? Is he presented as the light of God, speaking the words of God, and he can do anything? Or is he presented as a nice teacher who taught nice things and we're all equal and there's nothing special about him? You see what we do in it? We bring our own Guru down. We don't build him up in our children's minds and in our mind. We actually bring him down for what he is actually. That doesn't make any sense. If you're a Sikh, you should get your meaning of your Guru from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So I went through this myself. For years I was told what Guru was. Yeah? And when I came into Sikhi, I didn't know that much Bani. I just took Amrit, but I didn't know that much Bani. So in my mind, when I pictured my Guru, I saw him as the king of the world. And for me, like one dust upon Guru Gobind Singh Ji's feet isn't equal to the entire planet Earth. That's how great he is. But then everybody was telling me he's just a normal person. So I had a conflict for what I saw him as and what people were telling me he was. Because I was hanging out with a lot of missionary people, yeah? And then I thought, forget this. Let me read Guru Granth Sahib Ji. When I read Guru Granth Sahib Ji, I saw that it's exactly what I felt. He is God upon earth. He is the one. Yeah? I thought, wow. The feeling you got from him, that was the right feeling. So if you're thinking in your mind, Guru must be greater than everybody else, you're right. He is. He is the greatest person. So I'll finish off with this question. So basically, in summary, king versus general versus soldiers. Right? What does that mean? Analogy. Imagine a battle. Yeah, you've got a battle taking front. And in the battle, okay, you've got options. The king would normally send in the foot soldiers first. Agreed? Then they get slaughtered. Then he sends a cavalry. Then he goes, okay, archers, you go in, artillery. Then he sends his private guard. And if all fails, the king should go into the battlefield himself. Right? That's exactly what happened. God sent people upon earth that didn't do the complete job. So they go, right, forget this, I'm going to go in myself. And that is Guruji to us. God came himself. Aap Narayan Kalatar Jagmeh Parvariyo. If you read Asa Divar, it says, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Satgur vich aap rakyon kar paragat aak sunaya. God has placed himself in the Satguru and he's making it visible to everybody. And Sunaya means that everybody gets to hear it as well. So if you went to Guru Arjan Dev Ji's Darbar 400 years ago, 1603 or 2, you went to Amritsar and you went and you asked them, who is this Guru Arjan Dev Ji? What would they say to you? They say, oh, he's a holy man. No. They say he is God upon earth. He is an avatar of Kaljug. He is Kaljug the Jahaj. He's everything. He's God. Guru Arjan Partakaha. That's what they will say. So just think about how you present your Guru to yourself and to your children. Because you know when we listen to people that are important, we do it. We put the more important they are, the more we listen to them in. So if he is God, then we should listen to him properly. Not just like, oh yeah, it's one more person to look together. Because we tell them that they're teachers, we tell the kids that your Guru's like a teacher, they ignore their teachers at school. वो थोड़ी मानते हैं कि टीचर दी गल मसा पेरेंट्स दी गल मानते हैं कि टीचर तो दूर दी गल है masa they listen to you at home as parents. So well, you got to tell them it's God upon earth. When he speaks, it's God's words, and that is actually the truth. That's not just me just pumping me up for the sake of getting more people in. That's actually what Bani is saying. Alright. So we got time. I'm not going to go into that. Just going to any questions? Chalo, any questions? That's a topic for another time. So if anybody's got any questions, you can ask anything, whether it's political, spiritual, social, whatever you want, it's fine. Yeah, this is the kind of time that you get open time to ask anything you want. Hanji Bhai.
What's your opinion on astrology?
What's my opinion on who?
Astrology.
Who?
Astrology.
Astrology. Okay, Bhai, just good. Astrology. What is my opinion on astrology? Okay, my opinion on astrology is that it may exist or it may not work depending upon the person who's doing it, but it doesn't really matter for a Sikh. The reason why it doesn't matter for a Sikh is that when you've got Guruji standing by your side, it's like you could use a BlackBerry if you wanted, but you're better off with an iPhone. You agree? You could use a BlackBerry, but when you've got an iPhone coming your way, you might say, oh, forget the BlackBerry, I'll get an iPhone. So it's a bit like that. Guru Sahib says, Phir kar baiso har jan pyare, Satgur tumhare kaaj saware. What does that mean? It means don't worry, oh my brother, Guruji will sort you out. Get it? Bhagat Nana Ji says, Gopal tera arta, jo jan tumri pagat karante, tere ke kaaj savarta. All the things you're looking to get sorted out, people they say, oh, let me go get the right date to get married so nothing goes wrong. If you follow the Guru, he will make sure nothing goes wrong. Anything that the stars could do for you, the Guru can do better. Get it? So we don't need to worry about astrology. We just need to follow about following our Guru, and then he will sort everything else out. He's more powerful than the stars and the moons because he made them. He is Vaheguru. Yeah? Any texts come on that phone? Whose phone is it? There might be loads of texts. Get that phone here? No text. Okay, you can ask anything, but it's up to you. Now, I can't really force questions into you, innit? At the end of the day. You don't have to be shy, you know. You might be shy, but there's no need to be shy. I'm a normal banda, okay? And there's no stupid questions, there's just questions. Okay, and I'll try and answer them. Every Sunday in Southall, we do the same Q&A session for about an hour. After the katha, we go upstairs and we do an hour Q&A every Sunday evening. And the Sangha's been coming there for like year, 2 years. So they're very open, they ask their questions. So when I go new places, sometimes I feel a bit weird because they're just like looking at me like, oh, I don't know, I want to ask him 100 things, but give me a pucha. But you can ask, I don't mind, anything. Hanji. Can all religions find God? See, a religion never finds a God. Religions don't go around finding God. Yeah? The Bible doesn't go around finding God. People find God. So the question more accurately is, can all people find God? Depending upon whatever religion they are. Possibly. It's up to them. If they follow the path of Sikhi, then they can. What I mean by that is like, you don't have to call yourself a Sikh to be on the right path. Sikhi calls this Santa Ka Marg, the road of the saint. Right? You have to watch, you have to know, I said earlier, Sacha Marg, the right way. Sikhi is the right way. But you could be trying to leave lust, anger, pride, greed, attachment and embrace truth, contentment, humility, justice, compassion. If you do that, you're on the right path. But you can't get there with lust, you can't get there with anger, you can't get there with hate, or with all these things. You can't get there with those things. So you have to take on the right qualities that Sikh is talking about. You have to be nirpal, you have to be nirvair. You have to see everybody equally. Yeah? You have to have compassion. So whether you're a Sikh or you're not a Sikh, you have to have the right qualities. There's no guarantee even if you're a Sikh. You have to walk that path. So Sikhi is a marg, it's a path. You have to walk that path to get to God. However, if you know about Sikhi, not if you know about Sikhi, if you're a Sikh, then you must follow Sikhi. Why I say that is Guru Granth Sahib Ji is saying that itself. Guru Amardas Ji Maharaj in Anand Sahib, they say, Jeko Gurte Vemukh Hove, Bin Sadgur Mukt na Pave. Pave Mukt na Horthe Koi, Pucho Bebe Kiya Jaye. They go, if you're a Sikh, you have to find, now, if you leave Guru, you're going to have to come back. Whether it's this life or the next life, you have to come back to the Guru. Yeah? Because this is the only way for a Sikh. If you're not a Sikh, then you can find God in your own way. You're running a risk. That's all I say. It depends upon how much truth there is in your religion. We're not going to judge them all right now. But it depends upon how much truth is in your religion as whether you might find God or not. Let's say, for example, you followed the religion of the Agori Sadhus. Agori Sadhus. You know what those people are? They live in the Shamshan Ghat, cremation grounds. Yeah? They live in Shamshan Ghat and they eat the bodies of dead human beings that are being burned. Their food is a skull. They eat their food out of a skull of a human being. Yeah? And they drink, they do all sorts of crazy stuff. Now, when they're doing that, it's more likely you're not going to find God that way. You get it? Because you're going off the right path. But if you're following something like Advaita Vedanta, which is very much focused upon one God, rising above then you might find God, if you follow it the right way. That's why Guruji gives the teachings to Muslims and Hindus. When Guru Nanak Dev Ji is telling Hindus how to be good Hindus, Muslims how to be good Muslims, they're doing that because they don't want to break them from the truth, they want to add more truth to their life. They're saying, okay, you call yourself a Muslim, fair enough, it's okay. Here's how you can make your version of Islam even better. You can find truth even better, use this guidance. Yeah? They're here to help people. They're not here to break people or curse them. So as a Sikh, you can give guidance to somebody who's not Muslim about how to practice their religion better. If they follow that guidance, they're going to be more lucky than if they don't follow that guidance. But there's no guarantee, we only know one way where you're pakka meant to find God, pakka. And that is if you take Amrit and you follow Sikhi properly. That is the guaranteed way. Everything else is on you folks. But when Gurbani is saying, ki Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani, विच बानी अमृत सारे गुरबानी कहे सेवा के तन माने परतक गुरु निस्तारे. The guaranteed way is to live your life as a proper Amritari Sikh, not a fake one like me, but a proper one. If you become a proper Sikh, you will then actually get there. That's the guarantee of Gurbani. Everything else is up to you. Hanji, any other questions? Hanji.
Is it true that Guru Nanak Dev went to the Vatican?
Okay, I used to say that was true. I don't do it anymore. The reason being, this is all based upon this one guy who's written his research blog called satguru.weebly.com, yeah? And his methodology is highly dubious. So he started saying Guru Tegh Bahadur lived in London for some time, in England for some time. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Then he said like Guruji went to Canada, Newfoundland. And I was like, I don't know about this. So he seemed quite sort of reliable when he was talking about Vatican, because he went there with this piece of paper and took a photo with. But I realised this guy, he's obviously not all there. He's just taking pictures, photos, and then saying, weaving it into a story and putting it up. He put up some quote, some German book he found, and he says this says that Guru Nanak Ji came to Germany. But some people that I knew that understood German, they were like, that isn't what it says. So he's like, oh, le Punjabi, they don't know much. They read it, they go, oh, it must be true. But actually, I don't say that anymore about Ron. We took it out of our leaflets. I used to be in our leaflet, we took it out. Because you couldn't trust the authenticity of it. Because his methodology is so flawed. Maharaj might have gone there, but there's no proof for us from this guy's research. It's very tenuous. We actually wish, you know what, it would be a great research project to work out what they actually went. We have ourselves and neglect our history. It's so recent, but we don't even research it. There's so many things that are interesting about Sikh history just in the last 500 years. We should research it more, but for some reason, people haven't. Okay. Any other questions? Any texts? No? Wrap it up? Okay, alright, no more questions. By the way, in case you're wondering, there's about 300 to 400 Q&A videos on our channel. Just go into the playlist. When you go to the channel, type Basic Sikhi, go into playlist, and in playlist, you can find a Q&A playlist. In the Q&A playlist, like 300 videos. They're all about 5 minutes, 10 minutes long. And if you think, oh, I can't understand English so well, there's a whole bunch of Punjabi Q&As as well. There's about 50 or 60 Punjabi Q&As. You watch it with your baba or your good yeah? And they're all quite interesting as well. Like, they're all, again, real questions from the Sangha. Oh, just a quick one. I want to finish up on a positive note. Like I said to you before, yeah? Do not think Sikhi is not for you. Yeah? Whatever you do, one thing you should make sure you stick in your head. Sikhi is for everyone. Secondly, do not think you've got to take Amrit right now to be a Sikh. Yeah? Wherever you are, as long as you're learning a little bit more every day about Sikhi, you're now a student. You're a learner. So a Sikh must learn and think about Vani. That's the only thing you got to do, right? To be a learning. So just try every day to take a little bit more. The thing is, nowadays you haven't got that much of an excuse anymore, because there's a YouTube channel with loads of videos, and you could be out and about, and you can put it on your phone. You could be driving from A to B, and you can still stream it off your phone. So it's worth. We're on SoundCloud as well. All the audio is up there on SoundCloud, even less data required. So you can learn a little bit every day. So try and learn. Yeah? And that Guru's knowledge, that could change your life. Now, don't be scared about your life changing, because the one thing you've got to remember, I'll ask you all a question, right? If I put 10 people here who are the most successful, most intelligent people in the world, and on this side I put the 10 gurus, okay? And this is on this by people that are famous and successful. How many of you would choose what the gurus say over what these people say? Put your hand up if you would say, oh, you know what, no matter what these people are saying, I'm going to follow my gurus anyway. Put your hand up if you think I'll follow the gurus. Okay. See, that's most of you, right? Most of you would rather follow the gurus than follow these 10 people. What that means, if you think about it, is this. That for you, the faith is already there, the Guru is there to help you out, that he's not going to mess you around, he's going to tell you the truth, right? Then, the world is telling you, be the greatest you can be. Agreed? The world says, be the greatest you can be. But the greatest that you can think about is not what these people say, it's what the Guru say. So in your head, the greatest mat, the greatest wisdom out there is that of the Gurus. So if the Guru's wisdom is the greatest, it's the highest, to be the greatest you can be means to be a Sikh. Being a Sikh is the greatest you can think you can be. Because a Sikh is following the greatest wisdom there is. You already accept that to be the greatest wisdom. So being a Sikh is a very high thing to aim for. Right? So just learn. And let it into your life. Don't be scared. Okay? Just learn, and see where it gets you. And you will never regret following Sikhi. One thing I've learned in my life, I've never regretted following Sikhi. I've regretted drinking more and getting high and doing all the bad stuff, but I've never regretted following Sikhi. Because Sikhi is Sabato Suchi, Sabato Uchi. Get it into your head, get it into your kids' head. Sabato Suchi, the most pure, Sabato Uchi, the most high. That is Sikhi. Okay, pura chokka dikhiye maji. Let's say Fateh together. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.